guests today are Tim Blunt, the Director of Technology and Strategic Programs for AT&T Public Sector, and Lance Spencer, a Client Executive Vice President, also for AT&T Public Sector. Tim, Lance, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jason.
One of the big benefits we're seeing around enterprise IT as a service is this idea of workforce realignment. It's this idea of moving people out of the day-to-day management of a network, worrying about whether the router works, the firewall is updated, all those pieces and parts that go into making sure the network is running and efficient, effective, etc. The Air Force is starting to see some of those benefits, and when we've talked to them over the last couple of months, they've mentioned this as a key both benefit and metric. Why is, in many ways, enterprise IT as a service critical to the Air Force in terms of their workforce and getting them in different, more analytical, more cyber defensive positions?
So I think it's important to refer back to how enterprise IT as a service started. And when the Air Force started looking at how to get out the enterprise IT as a service or commercialization of their IT services, I mean, there were two major components. It was to improve mission and operational readiness and to repurpose airmen for more Air Force-like skills. The Air Force is really trying to get after cybersecurity for mission systems and mission defense teams and mission defense network security. So by allowing the commercial private sector to do the IT services, I mean, something we're really good at, it can allow the Air Force and the airmen to get after some of the more Air Force intricate duties, if you will, something that they're really good at, and free up those resources. Another advantage from enterprise IT as a service is that it's also a retention. It's a retention issue. You get these young airmen come in and they're used to using all kinds of creative tools at home, and they come into the office in the Air Force and it's like they step backwards in time. So as we start to roll out commercial services, it really will help airmen to feel better about their workplace, to use things that they're used to using at home, getting the same kinds of productivity and capability and user experience that they're used to. So there are some definite workforce advantages to rolling out enterprise IT as a service.
And I think that culture plays into this a lot also. Driven mostly by need, the Air Force has developed a lot of capabilities on their own that are often unique, that were developed by the Air Force, for the benefit of the Air Force. And when you look across the scale of the national enterprise and how we're delivering commercial capabilities, being willing to accept that different is good, and not just looking for, say, a data feed coming off of our delivery for decision making, and trying to do assessments and monitor operations, but allow us to actually pass the knowledge that is developed by our systems and much more rich and robust, more full situational awareness picture that the AI, the machine learning, and the other capabilities built into the network can provide in an operational picture that could be delivered to the Air Force. And again, it's different. There's a lot of pride in what was developed for the use of the Air Force and the DoD, and people should be proud of that. But to achieve the vision of enterprise IT as a service, and truly use the commercial capability that's being presented forward, taking advantage of the investment we've made and the innovation that's within those capabilities, I think will be critical to the Air Force not only getting the benefit of the solution, but understanding how the workforce will realign, or if it doesn't realign, how it will accept change into how they operate going forward.
These risk reduction pilots are about 18 months into it. There's still some ways to go, a lot more proof of concept to happen. Let me start with Tim. What's the message to the Air Force? What's the message to others within DoD? What's the message to the broader community about enterprise IT as a service? What's the one or two things they should keep in the forefront of their mind? And then Lance, I'm going to give you the same question.
I think where we are now with enterprise IT as a service, we've been down down this path 18 to 24 months now, and we've worked out a lot of the challenges. I mean, we've kind of crossed a lot of hurdles and worked out a lot of the major challenges. So I would think so the thing now is let's scale it out. Really, let's look at how do we move out to get out there faster and bring on some more bases into this environment. That's one thing. The other thing I would say is we got to keep getting after the culture as well. The culture for receiving these commercial services, and how do we prove equivalency or better for security and other things. And it all boils down to trust. End of the day, from AT&T's perspective, and we are partners in this enterprise IT as a service with the Air Force. We're partners in making the Air Force successful, and we're partners in helping to really improve and enhance mission effectiveness as well as the user experience for our Air Force.
And Lance?
The enterprise IT as a service risk reduction effort was really broken into two phases, viability and scalability. And the viability is what Tim talked about with the proving that we can do it, working through the processes, working through the policies, working through the risk management and the various approvals and the coming togethers and mutual learning to show that a company like AT&T can deliver to 1 to 3 bases and provide a solution that supports the Air Force operational needs. I think moving to scalability is vital to the next steps. One, it'll show what scales and what doesn't. And even though we've shown that it's viable, I think it's a very important learning point for the Air Force to see what across the entire ITAS effort scales and won't scale. And there's some things that will and won't, I'm sure. And I think they need to have the benefit of that to make very informed decisions as they go forward to production. I think scaling within the United States versus overseas is also very important in that discussion. So moving forward and understanding that is critical. And then also to really see the pace that commercial delivery can be done at. 3 bases took 18 to 24 months, depending on how you're measuring it and what we're calling success in those first 3 bases. How fast can we do 20 bases? What is the right pace to throttle what the Air Force wants to receive versus what AT&T can deliver? I think it's very important to get to the heart of that. And I think the Air Force will see that it can move very fast once we're unconstrained and can really move and go do things.